All right, I'm here with Ryan Wheat, director of Top Tier Kentucky. Ryan, good to have you.
Hey, thanks, Tino. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course. I want to get into a little bit of background on you, the Top Tier Kentucky program, how long you've been with Top Tier. Give me the summary on who you are and who Top Tier Kentucky is.
Yeah, I this is our first year with top tier. Um, I ran a club in Louisville for a while, and then coached in college for 12 years before that, and was up in the Midwest and got to know Scott French pretty well, and Todd, and just some of the top tier guys was always recruiting their teams, and so just kind of developed a relationship with them, and then a guy by the name of Todd Coryell moved to Louisville. I guess it was a few years ago, and they approached me, and I just felt like it was a great opportunity to get involved with a network of people like Frenchie um, and Todd and Plant and Seth and all those guys, and it was like, man, it's a good fit. I loved recruiting their guys in the past and loved everything that they were doing, and it's just now different phase of my life, and you still got to kind of keep the same relationships.
So I know that you know Dylan Rakovich pretty
Yeah.
well. Give me the story behind that.
No, he played at I was at St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana, and he played for us there, and he was always just kind of a fun loving guy, fun to be around. Then he started coaching at Transylvania University, which is in Lexington, and their head coach Zach Getzey was a St. Joe guy. And so, the head coach of St. Joe was Rick Odette, and he's now at St. Leo University. But his his reach and kind of his coaching tree, and is just he's a phenomenal person. He's always attracted phenomenal people, and you know, and it's awesome to see. I'm starting to be the old guy now, right? Like, so now I'm starting to see players that have coached coach, or players that have coached have kids and families, like even started coaching, some of their kids. And so it's really cool for me personally to see Rack doing as well as he's doing. So
And for those who don't know, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of people in your program watching this. For those who don't know, Dylan Rakovich is an HQ guy. He's our director of player performance here out of the Max in Chicago. So, um, Ryan, I want to get into some stuff you got going on in your youth program. You took a team down to Lake Point for the March Madness tournament. First, I was talking to Jay Wayno earlier. How important is it to kind of kick off the season, taking a trip like that, maybe get some uh, good competition in, get some new logos, some new uniforms, get the kids to see some new stuff right at the beginning of the season.
it's huge. Our whole philosophy is like we want to go and you know localish guys, right? Meaning you know the state pretty much, and we get into Southern Indiana, and we want to go out. We want to play the best competition that we can, and we want our schedules to be hard, and it's the only way you can get better. So it was huge for that group. Um, you know, like I said, being a first year program, we did a 13-week off season program with those guys, and that was always kind of the carrot that was dangled. Was, hey man, like the competition is going to ramp up, and it's going to ramp up week one, and it's going to we're going to have you're going to have to be ready to go, and so and they were, man, they marched on to the championship game. I think they left a lot of people going, who were those guys? And and it was, and that's exactly how we want to do things with top tier Kentucky. Is just coach them hard, coach them up, get them to go play the best competition they can play, and super happy with the players and proud of the players and the coaches for you know for the run that they kind of went on down there. So
Yeah, I know. Seeing I wasn't able to be down there, but saw a lot of stuff coming out on social media. Saw that really a lot of our teams did extremely well. How important is it also for kind of a first year program for coaches, for parents, and players to maybe kick off the season around a lot of other top tier teams as well, because a lot of other satellites did make the trip as well. Um, does that kind of help out a little bit? Maybe you're not just kind of by yourself. You're surrounded with some of the top tier family.
Yeah, and I think 100% number one, and um, you get to see what other states are doing, what other how they run their programs, what kind of players they have. You know, when you when I was coaching in college, you always coached at schools where you had to pretty much recruit nationally, and you try to tell kids like, hey, it's a big country. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of baseball players. And you see it in the draft every year too, right? Like, I mean, if you want to go out and you want to compete and you have all these lofty goals, well then let's get to see the players early, right? Like let's see what they look like early and just kind of see where you stack up. Doesn't mean you have to be the best 12-year-old, but you just kind of go, okay, look, I'm going to have to continue to get better, and that's part of it to me is that you have to constantly feel some pressure, right? You have to play good competition. And then, that was one of the biggest reasons we joined Top Tier for events like this and for other events I think we're going to talk about. So,
I think sometimes it's hard to see some of the progress that's made indoors. I think a lot of us are indoors for the majority of our, winter and spring and stuff like that. But are you starting to see some of that stuff, some of the gains start hitting the field? And if so, what are you seeing now, or what are you most excited to see in the near future for some of these guys in your youth program?
yeah, I mean, I think it's the ability, number one, just be a baseball player, right? Like I was watching something with Julian Edelman the other day, and Tom Brady was talking about it. He was like, played quarterback in college, ended up playing, he had played snaps as a defensive back. And it's like he's a football player, right? Well, we want our guys to be baseball players. We want them to be versatile. We want them to have, you know, not necessarily go out and move around every single inning or anything like that, but we want them to be when your number's called and either this team or a team in the future, high school team, college team, I think you start if they need you to play a different position, then you got to go do it. And really, like don't get me wrong, I wish we were all outside 24/7, 365, right? But I think doing stuff indoors kind of gives you some versatility because you're limited on what you can do. So everybody, you may not be the starting shortstop for the team or the starting, you know, catcher or something like that. But when it comes down to it, are you going to have the skills necessary to be able to be versatile and find a way on the field and hit? Like I mean, I think that's the other good part about being indoors that you get to hit a lot and you get to kind of really hone in and understand your swing. So
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Um, Coming up here, we have the next month. We have the Mizuno Classic tournament, another event where even more top tier satellites will be there. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be the first time I'm kind of around the group as a whole. So I'm excited for that. You might know the area a little bit more. What can people expect from that Mizuno Classic tournament in Evansville? Um, you know, in being a first year program, I'm sure, players and parents are kind of looking at you and for some direction. So what can we expect from that tournament, and what can we expect from top tier Kentucky?
well, I think number one is that you're going to a fantastic facility. The group in Evansville is struck a deal with the city, and they have use of this complex, and it is beautiful. We went down the week before the PBR event and just did some basically just we played. I think it was 12, 13 innings, something like that, and our 11s and 12s went down there, and then so the facility is awesome. And the second part is I just think you're going to see a lot of good baseball, right? Like you're going to see from what I've learned from going to the summit and being just knowing Todd for as long as I have. It's just it's he's going to surround himself with good people, and that's what these guys are. They're good people. They're good baseball people. They treat people the right way. So to me, I think it's number one. It's a really cool event, right? Like I know there's going to be other teams other than top tier teams there, but it's still it's something that you can go there as a parent on our team and go watch Iowa and Michigan or whoever, and you're going to see a really good game with a lot of class.
Yeah.
So
If there's one common thread between, I think, every director, really everyone in the organization, it's the competitive aspect. So I know you guys are gonna head to Evansville looking for some hardware. What's necessary for you guys to take home some hardware to have a good showing? Is there some stuff you guys been focusing on a lot in your that 13-week program? What are you hoping to see out of the group?
yeah, I mean, I think it's just really just play, just high level catch, meaning being able to minimize your mistakes. Number one, number two, just try to string together as many good at bats as you can because you're just going to see good pitcher after good pitcher after good pitcher. So, and going in there and just be super competitive on the mound. And if you can be competitive on the mound, be competitive in the box, you're going to give yourself a chance to win any game that you can or any game that you play. So,
What's ahead for top tier Kentucky? What do we have to look forward to the rest of the spring, the summer? What do you guys have on the schedule? What can we look forward to?
yeah, being first year, basically we have an 11-year-old team. We have three 11-year-old teams, a 12-year-old team, a 13-year-old team, and we have a 15-year-old team that has um, some good young players that are, just all kind of projectable and, you know, toolsy. And so I think the biggest thing is that, again, kind of goes back to just the overall philosophy of the club is that we're going to get guys that in our area that go out and play high level tournaments. We may get our teeth kicked in, and we may be super competitive against high level teams. And um, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in. We're going to go play the best tournaments, and we're going to compete every pitch, and or at least that's the goal. And and just watch this kind of organically grow. And hopefully down the road, these guys are all college players.
Are there any players that you're kind of looking forward to tracking the rest of the spring and summer? There's, again, talking to Jay, it's these guys. They've training at your place and stuff like that. So some of these names or some of these performances might not come of a surprise to you. But what can, for someone like me, like an outsider who might be following top tier Kentucky for the first time, what players stick out and what can we look to keep an eye on?
Yeah, so I think from we've got a deep group of 11s, and we're doing something a little bit different with the 11-year-old age group this year. Just my player development mind has like a little, I don't know if you want to call it an experiment or project. Um, so it's basically academy style where we have 31 players in the program or in that age group, and then we kind of shuffle lineups in and out together. So, which has been a really cool thing to see because we haven't started tournament play yet, but we have started league play, and it's been really cool and it's been good to see, and just how much better the players have gotten. So we've got an interesting left-handed pitcher named Kellen Harper. He's really good down in Georgia. We have kind of a first baseman outfielder, he's a big kid, Carson Sanders, who I think he ended up with like 3 home runs in the tournament down there. And so it's our 13s are a group that have been kind of busting their butt and they've seen some success early in local tournaments here, and And then, like I said, our 15s won't get started till after Memorial Day because the high school season and how late it runs in Kentucky. But it's good. It's a good group. Excited for them.
Yeah, I'm excited to go catch some top tier Kentucky action next month. So, Ryan, I appreciate the time. Thank you, and look forward to chatting soon.
Yep. Thank you, man.